Plotlands Archive is an online photographic database recording unconventional houses and chalets and their DIY construction methods. The archive includes both interwar period and newer chalets which have been adapted and modified over the years. Situated on coastal strips and in river valleys, few estates from that period still remain. The archive is a celebration of resourcefulness, creativity and character, recording the many unique materials used and vernacular designs largely unseen within urban housing developments. The archive has been developed over a 30-year period, recording many buildings no longer standing and some which have since been renovated beyond recognition. The database provides searchable access to houses by construction materials used, type of building and even colour. Locations include Humberston Fitties, the Brooklands estate at Jaywick Sands, the Bel Air estate at Seawick, Laysdown-on-Sea, Almere Ferry on the River Dee and Eccles-on-Sea in Norfolk. Accessing visual resources online is a mediated experience shaped by search engine and image sharing algorithms, or through the individual agendas of closed, curated collections. Using my own Plotlands Archive as a case study, this paper outlines an alternative strategy for creating a user-generated, searchable online image archive. Without the secretive algorithms of popular image hosting and sharing environments, the free and open source Piwigo is an accessible and code-free way to create a visual archive. Piwigo is not complicated to use, and if you're used to using WordPress or any other content management system for writing and adding pictures without being a web coder, then Piwigo could be an opportunity for you to create your own image database. Piwigo is open source and has been around for a long time, nearly 20 years. You can get Piwigo in two different ways. You can get them to host it for you for a small annual fee, or, like I've done, you can download the software for free and you can install it on your own web server. Unlike any other image hosting applications, Piwigo can be relatively low cost to set up and to maintain. So if you've got your own practice website running already, either using Wix or UK2 as a web host, what you can do is you can actually add Piwigo to your existing service as an add-on domain. So just by way of an illustration, my existing website, timdaly.com, is where I put all of my practice. That's hosted with UK2. And instead of having a separate hosting package, what I've done is I've added my image database onto UK2's hosting package as an add-on domain. That means I can use a different domain name to direct people to the material, but it's still hosted with the same package for my timdaly.com. Effectively, you're hosting two websites with one provider for one annual cost. Now, the most important thing to consider when you're doing this is that your existing web host must be providing a database for you to use. So Piwigo requires a database. So just like any other content management system, like WordPress, Piwigo gives you the chance to customize the way in which your material presents itself to the viewer. So in this example, I'm using a particular theme, that is, a kind of a layout grid where my material presents itself on the front page. So what I'm using here is I'm separating out the content into different albums, and these albums I've organised by their location. Once you've clicked on an album button, you're then taken to its collection of photographs. The album pages are created in a grid by Piwigo automatically, and it doesn't matter how many photographs you've got in your album, the grid will just keep going and going across several pages. So the individual albums can be accessed really easily, and you can see it's easy to scroll through the individual pages, and if you've got more material in your album, it's easy to scroll onto the next page as well. Now Piwigo incorporates and accommodates images of different sizes and different dimensions. By clicking on the image's thumbnails, you arrive at a third level, and that's the biggest reproduction of the image itself. Here you can see details like the author and any keywords that have been applied to the image. Once you've installed Piwigo on your system, adding content is really simple. So I prepare all of my images beforehand in Lightroom, but you can use Photoshop or any other image editor. Once the images are uploaded, you can then add details to each individual file, and you can batch process them with all the important information. Once this is ready, you can then assign images to separate albums, and that means you can group them together in whatever categories that you like. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of Piwigo is that it allows you to add keywords to each individual image. These keywords really help your material to be found by Google, the search engines, later down the line. The keywords are really easy to apply to each individual photograph, and you can also build a kind of a keyword collection before you start using Piwigo's Tag Manager. So all these keywords that I've developed here, I've added to various pictures within my collection. And as you're entering each keyword, Piwigo has predictive text, so you don't have to type out the whole word. So just to show you how the keywords work on Piwigo, I'm just going to go back to my albums, pick up a particular one, and then go to the Explore menu, and here you'll see under the keywords option, you'll see almost like a word bubble of all the different keywords that I've applied across the collection. So this is collecting all of the pictures that I've tagged with the keyword French door. So a different keyword this time, and Piwigo returns a different collection of images. And each of these returns are almost like a typology, a different set of pictures for the user to explore. So cutting across all of the different albums and all of the different collections, the keywords bring out all of the images connected to that. Now what you can also do is add a second or third or fourth keyword and narrow down your search even further. So here you see I'm using the related keywords menu, and I'm adding a second keyword, all of those can be deleted, and here it is. I'm just adding a different second keyword now. So it's looking for houses that are coloured magnolia with a particular type of roof. So the most popular keywords, they're bigger, and the least popular ones are smaller. And it's a great way of giving your viewers the chance to explore the material using terms that they might be familiar with. So just like WordPress, Piwigo provides you with different layout options, so you can decide how the images appear on the front of your pages. Now I'm using the Modus theme in my website, but there are lots more. There's possibly not as many as WordPress, so in many respects the options are quite limited. You'll notice as well that there's a second theme option there, and it gives you the chance to pick a different theme for viewers who are going to look at your site on a mobile or a smartphone. So Piwigo is responsive, so it will resize and scale the pictures depending on what screen that your website is viewed at. So whether your viewers using a high resolution monitor or a smartphone or a tablet, the material will scale and resize appropriately. Piwigo also has a really useful function whereby you can incorporate a watermarked image file into every single picture, and that's applied by the application itself rather than you having to apply it yourself individually to every single image. One of the benefits of using Piwigo for your image archive is that if you use keywords properly, then it's easy to find your material using Google and other search engines. So in this example, I've used two search terms, JWIC and weatherboard, and it's returned my material as the second option in the Google image search. So using the application makes your work very visible, and it prevents you from having to spend lots of time trying to get your site listed and make your site discoverable, and thinking about search engine optimization. All of that stuff takes you away from your kind of creative and archival practice. It's a really good solution.